Welcome to the CAREcast.
Welcome to a special, extraordinary CAREcast. We just wanted to touch base and to just talk a little bit about an extraordinary development last night. I think it's fair to say that it was a genuine pro-life win, and for those of you who follow CARE, support our work and engage with us when we need your help, you'll know in recent months, especially in relation to Northern Ireland in particular, it hasn't been a lot of good news, it's been more bad news. So here we are, we've now got a genuine pro-life win, a dangerous home abortion amendment to the UK government's domestic abuse bill, which applies in England and Wales, was withdrawn late last night. So it was not voted on by MPs, which means it will not change the law, which is tremendous news. Naomi, how are you feeling about it this morning?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I was genuinely very shocked last night to hear that, not only had it not been put to a vote, but it had been withdrawn completely, and that pro-abortion or pro-choice MPs had also spoken out against this amendment. They clearly could see that it was badly drafted, that it was going to be dangerous for women in domestic abuse situations had it been added to the bill and successfully been brought into law. And it was just wonderful to hear speeches from MPs like Fiona Bruce and Carla Lockhart, just really highlighting how flawed this whole concept is, allowing women to take pills at home without an accurate gestational scan. We've already seen that case in the media with one woman aborted a baby at 28 weeks. She obviously hadn't had a scan. It's very dangerous to take abortion pills that late in gestation. And just the idea of women potentially taking these pills at home on their own, potentially, and having to have that abortion on their own at home is just horrendous. And moreover, the fact is there's no way of guaranteeing that those women aren't being coerced into that abortion in the first place. So in no way does this actually protect victims of domestic abuse. So it was a huge relief, both on behalf of women in those situations, but also a victory for unborn babies who would have potentially been aborted under this law change had it been successul. So huge relief, really, that this hasn't been successful.
That's fantastic. Let's just backtrack. We talked about you talked about the domestic abuse bill. Do you want to just quickly summarise what's the deal with the domestic abuse bill? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I mean, we at CARE we really support the purpose of this bill, which is to offer better support for victims of domestic abuse in England and Wales, to enhance protections for those victims, to help them through the court process, court proceedings, and just throughout this whole process, there's been a number of charities that have been consulted that work with women in these situations, and just seeing their recommendations added to the bill has been really important, and to hear what victims of domestic abuse go through, and just the vast numbers of women and men as well in these situations, and just to hear their stories highlighted has been so important. So this is a landmark bill. It's really a vital piece of legislation, and it's so wonderful that it has gone through without any abortion amendments, because had they been successful, then it would have made the bill about abortion and not about what it's intended for, which is supporting victims of domestic abuse. So it's so important that it kept its focus.
And that's why I guess at CARE we've been sort of saying for the last few weeks, we've been saying keep the domestic abuse bill focused on abuse, not abortion. Because I know from friends, like just asking me questions, texting, whatever, just saying like there were 2 abortion amendments that had been tabled late last week, and we should just stand back a bit further and say, so the domestic abuse bill is a government bill. It began its life in the House of Commons earlier on this year. It's gone through its Commons stages very quickly because it's a very urgent piece of legislation, and it's now got to go through the House of Lords. And there's a thing called report stage, which comes after committee stage. And this is where any changes that have been made to the legislation so far in its parliamentary journey are debated and considered. But it's also an opportunity for new amendments to be tabled. So report stage and third reading happen together on Monday, the 6th of July. And amendments can be tabled right up to a few days before that debate. So at the end of last week, we found out that these devastating abortion amendments had been tabled to the domestic abuse bill. Naomi, there were two. What were the two amendments trying to achieve?
Yeah, so the amendment that we were speaking about that was not put to a vote last night and was withdrawn, that was to do with home abortion, so telemedicine abortion. During the coronavirus outbreak, the UK government allowed women to be able to take abortion pills at home. So that policy is still going on now. And so they would have a video consultation with a doctor. And then if the doctor approved the abortion, they would then have the pills sent to them in the post. Of course, there's all sorts of safeguarding concerns around that. So we were very concerned that that particular amendment wouldn't pass. That would have allowed women in domestic abuse situations to be able to have an abortion via telemedicine for the foreseeable future, post coronavirus outbreak. The other amendment was even more extreme, and extremely relieved that didn't even get selected by the Speaker. So that was to do with decriminalisation of abortion. So it would have allowed abortion up to 28 weeks gestation for any reason, in any and all circumstances, including sex-selective abortion. So it would have made the law in England and Wales one of the most extreme abortion laws in Europe, if not the world. So essentially, it would have removed all remaining legal protection for unborn babies up to 28 weeks gestation. That's just under 7 months gestation. It also would have removed any statutory protection of freedom of conscience for medical professionals who are opposed to abortion. And it would have removed the requirement for 2 doctors to sign off on an abortion. So it was very extreme. And we know that BPAS, Britain's largest abortion provider, were really pushing for that amendment to be selected and mobilising their supporters. We know that there were several MPs that have been saying for several years now that this is what they wanted to do with the domestic abuse bill. They wanted to hijack it and use it to introduce decriminalisation of abortion up to 28 weeks. So it was a huge relief that amendment was not even selected for a vote yesterday.
It's fantastic. And I guess from our perspective at CARE, one of the encouraging aspects over the last couple of days has been the way that many of our supporters, many of you listening and watching this, got behind us and supported us. And we just want to say a big thank you to all of you, whether you prayed about this issue, whether you contacted your MP, wrote to them, emailed them. Every email, every letter that you have sent has been a voice for the voiceless, and we're so grateful to you. Naomi, what happens next? Where are we going next? Because the domestic abuse bill is not finished its parliamentary journey, but there was some talk of a public consultation as well that the government want to hold. Could you just unpack that briefly?
Yeah, that's right. So the minister did agree, Victoria Atkins, she did agree to a public consultation on the issue of telemedicine home abortions. And so we're not sure exactly when that will be taking place, but the good thing about a public consultation is it allows the opportunity for people to write in and express their view. It allows the opportunity for the government to hear all of the safety concerns that we have and a number of other organisations have for women in taking these pills at home without a scan, without being able to safeguard and protect them against abuse. So it does allow that opportunity to really scrutinise this policy. And the government themselves have already expressed some of their concerns, particularly in the House of Lords, about this particular policy. So we know that they are aware that there are some serious safeguarding concerns here. So potentially that will take place at some point this year. And so we'll be contacting supporters to let you know how you can be responding to that consultation. But obviously the bill then is moving to the House of Lords now. So that should take place after the summer recess, potentially in September. And we may well see amendments being tabled to the bill again, which will try and push through either telemedicine abortion or decriminalisation, removing all of that protection for unborn babies up to 28 weeks gestation. We may see other abortion amendments being tabled there. So the battle, as it were, is by no means over, and we will be contacting you and mobilising supporters to respond and contact peers at that time. So it's important to keep praying, because we know that this is far from over, but also celebrating the victory that these amendments weren't successful yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah. We don't have a lot of pro-life wins, or we haven't had a lot of pro-life wins in recent times. So I think we didn't really know what to do with ourselves when this happened. Like, how do we celebrate this? Yeah, just give thanks to God. we're going to draw this to a close. Naomi, thanks so much for your time. Just wanted to say, for all of you listening, we would love to keep you informed with what's happening with the public consultation on extending home abortions for all women post the coronavirus 2020 legislation, and also what happens with the domestic abuse bill in the House of Lords. And so the best ways for you to connect with our work: firstly, like and follow our Facebook page to get day-by-day updates on what we're doing. And then secondly, we send out a regular email update every Friday, 5 o'clock. Go to care.org.uk/sign-up. That's care.org.uk/sign-up. Sign up for Impact Direct and you'll be kept in the loop so that you'll be in a position not only to pray with us, but also to stand with us in political action as well when the time comes. So thank you so much for listening. Hope it's been helpful, and we'll see you again very shortly on the Care.